Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Thursday night Anamkara meditation program. With all my heart and with all my love, I welcome you to our program tonight. We're going to be starting, of course, with the opening mantras, and as a way of helping to ease the mind aside so we can come home to the truth of who we are. The reason why we're here, to know that divine essence that you already are, that you bring tonight's program, your sublime divine self, the power of your practices and commitment, and to be fully present, we make use of the power of mantra to help ease the mind into a quieter state, and also to help our consciousness really separate out, to step back from the mind. So even if it's, a noisy little thing over on the side, we're not caught in it, we're not identified with it, not bound by it. So we'll start with the opening mantras. Shri Mata Kali Mahan Devi Ki Jai Gajananam Bhuta Ganari Sevitam Kapita Jambo Palacharu Bhakshanam Umasutam Shokam Vinashakarakam Namami Vigneshwara Parapankajam Shri Ganeshayan Namaha Shri Ganeshayan Namaha Shri Ganeshayan Namaha. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamandaya Purnamevavashishate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Mata Kali Mahan Devi Ki Jai. So once again, with all my heart, with all my love, I welcome you to our program tonight. And this month, this is the holiday month. So many holy days to celebrate. Of course, as yogis, we know every day, every moment is the celebration of the divine revealing itself. Because really, when you look at the holidays, they're all about celebrating revelation and ways that humans have experienced that revelation. Bodhi Day is the day that celebrates when Buddha attained enlightenment, dissolved into that which is beyond all names, all forms, everything. Celebrating that revelation. Happy Hanukkah. We're in the midst of Hanukkah, the celebration of the divine revealing itself by sustaining that light. But that's that light of the divine presence that we want to know moment by moment, day by day. We celebrate the solstice. We celebrate the birth of Christ as a way of bringing light and love and revelation into the world. So over and over, when we look at all the various holidays, we can see that we're drawn to that as reminders of what's that highest truth. And with that, kind of our longing to know that. What drove Buddha was his longing to know, to go beyond everything, to know what it means to attain a state free of suffering so he could then pass it on to all other beings. And it was his great lament that he couldn't just pass that state on. He could only pass on the practices, because it's up to each and every one of us to realize that within ourselves, as ourself. So we do the practices. And we celebrate, both historical revelations, but we also celebrate, what are the different ways that we experience that directly for ourselves. It can be for an instant, it can be for longer, but to know that each and every one of us has that capacity to feel that living presence of the divine, and to know that as long as we get out of the mind. So that's really what our practices are about, is really opening up the door to that living presence that's already here. And it's that door that takes us just the other side of the ordinary mind that so fills the space of our consciousness moment by moment, literally from the moment we wake up till the moment we go to sleep, and often throughout our dreams as well. So the practices are aimed at entering the stillness, entering the silence, going beyond the mind. And, we didn't meet for a couple of weeks, and part of the time that we weren't meeting, I had the good fortune to be able to spend some time in stillness and silence, kind of a little retreat time for myself. We've talked often about the hero's journey, and how the hero's journey is one of sort of leaving the ordinary confines of society and culture, going on some kind of adventure and tasks that we have to fulfill, and then gathering some gift, some wisdom, something precious that we then bring back for the benefit of all. And when we understand that monomyth is what Joseph Campbell talked about as the hero's journey, that's encapsulated in every time we sit to meditate. Every time we sit and sort of let go of the world, turn our attention inside, pick up the throb of the infinite as mantra, as living presence, and dive into that and see what we then bring back to inform our day-by-day life, bring it back for the benefit of ourselves and our family, all those that we know and love, and our community at large. So every kind of practice kind of, in a way, fits into that understanding of that hero's journey and what unfolds for us as we're doing that. And it helps to inform the profound nature of practice. The ordinary mind makes things ordinary. And it does that to meditative practice as well. Oh, I just got to sit. Oh, what time is it? How long do I have to sit? That's the mind. It's made it a chore. It's made it ordinary. It's lost that light of revelation, that we're sitting here to receive the revelation of the infinite in the moment. The mind is so convinced of the importance of what's going on inside it that it forgets, even in a meditative practice, that it's here to receive the sublime nature of our boundless being that's there offering the gifts of revelation, however they might be. Might be the simplest and momentary kind of feeling, experience, spaciousness of awareness, just stillness. For most of us, just being able to find the stillness, the silence, the freedom from the constant chatter of the mind, that in itself is a most divine gift. So we want to shift our attitude some as we sit to meditate. So tonight, talking about Dharma and practice, that's one of the things, is what's our attitude going in? And what's the longing that draws us there? And as I was on my silent retreat, one of the things that I'd been contemplating was also that sense of longing. And so some things came up in meditation around that, gifts that I wanted to share. So you go to the well and you bring back for the benefit of all. So this is called deep longing. We too often live in a state of deprivation, deep longing buried beneath layers of resignation and inadequate accommodations that can't dispel our soul's anguish. Softening the inner fortress we've built to shield us from the profound pain we've been told we must endure, told we deserve, told there's no escape from, told to sacrifice our sacred gifts, even our lives to the vision of the ruling powers who built the cross on which we hang in agony. We turn to religion and we're treated as unruly, undisciplined knaves, needing to be forcibly trained out of our state of toxic ignorance. Desperate for relief, we fall to our knees in obedience to spiritual tyrants. In the same way, fear-driven citizens, hoping for relief, give in to political despots and oligarchs. When predators in power control myths and religions, the people accepting those delusions willingly obey their treacherous, self-serving leaders. Even the grace-filled gifts of enlightened ones, avatars, sages, saints, Christ, Buddha, Muhammad, in the hands of predators become sticks, stones, weapons, and brutal barriers of exclusion. Is not our state of anguish, our often denied state of desperation, a natural response to our deprivation? To our soul-deadening, relentlessly exploiting materialist society? How we've been enculturated to seek relief through consumption and competition serves those in power, but our hearts and souls are tortured and starved. Don't blame yourself, don't blame your soul for not being nourished by the thin gruel that is offered. Those blinded by power always blame their victims. Now, the pain and anguish can point to what we really need. But first, step away from the conditioned mind. Step away from the conditioned mind. Patiently listen deeply to your heart. The grace-filled missives from holy mystics who have gone beyond all dogmas and religions hint at how to look within for genuine answers, for ineffable truths, for the direct knowing that has always threatened religious and secular authorities. Mystics are revolutionaries. You are a mystic. Throw off the bonds of convention and collective delusion. Dare to ask yourself, how fully, completely loved do I feel every day? Oh, you dear sweet soul, you deserve that every moment of every day. The divine within you is radiating that right here, right now, always. So turn to the source for what you need. Ask, how have my heart and soul been loved and nurtured, and had their inherent worth reflected back from the time I was conceived? What did I learn about lovingly nourishing myself and others every day? Has my mind been loved and cared for in ways that nourish it and strengthen it to lovingly know and to selflessly serve? Has my body been lovingly touched, appreciated, respected, and cared for as often as it genuinely needs? What we give loving attention to flourishes. All else withers. What we give loving attention to flourishes. All else withers. So watch. Watch where your attention goes. Exercise your power to step out of rote patterns of giving attention and love in ways that don't serve the truth of who you are and who others are as emanations of the divine. As a mystic, you reclaim the vision of the divine, unfolding as all creation, including and embracing you and your life. You are empowered to act in accord with that deep truth. This is how mystics come to be viewed as revolutionaries. Material ambitions and success never meet the anguished cries of our souls in need of the divine's embrace. The graceful hints and practices passed on by mystics for thousands of years serve as starting points, not end points. Direct knowing unfolds in the sacred vessel of your heart, the true Holy Grail, the temple wherein the divine has always dwelt. So lovingly engage in practices, meditation, contemplation, seva, always lovingly. Meditation is a state of pure, all-embracing love. Unity beyond even the concept of unity. So don't bring a stick to your practice. Wrap yourself in a soft shawl to remind the body-mind they are enveloped in love. Wrap the mind in a shawl of wonder, gratitude, love, and awe as you sit in the divine presence. Here, you are lovingly invited to let go and let go at your own pace. Let go and let go into that love. And choose love moment by moment. Choose love and you've chosen God. That's what it means to put God above all else. Put love above all. The mind will eventually discover what all mystics discover. The inexhaustible wellspring of love already within you will fill you forever. That's what our practices are about. Knowing that. Not knowing the minutiae of a ritual. That helps to gather the mind and focus it. So that can be helpful at some stage. But we want to drown in the love. We want to dive into the ocean. Everything else is just a pathway up to the beach. Then dive in. So our practices, they need to be informed with that understanding that when we sit, we're already enveloped in the divine presence. We're already enveloped in love. There's no work required. That's why it's always about letting go. Letting go. Letting go. Poor mind. It's worked hard enough, long enough, suffered long enough. Let go. Let go into that divine embrace. This is the essence, the heart essence of practice, of meditation. So even when we're talking about the use of mantra, this sound form of the infinite, that is a throb of love. That is a throb of the divine. There's no separating out love from the divine. There's not the divine that sometimes chooses to love. That's one of the things that makes the divine powerless. It's powerless. to not love. It just radiates love, like the sun radiating light and warmth. Come into that presence and know that. So all that we do as practice, visual practices of seeing beautiful, sublime forms of tankas and yantras and statues and everything, what are they there to remind us of? That the infinite is lovingly present. Why do we celebrate these holidays throughout December? We're celebrating the living presence of the divine's love. So we want to keep coming back to that. The poor mind gets so easily distracted. It goes here and there and gets lost in its maze. So we breathe and let go. Breathe and let go. Breathe and let go. Keep bringing it back, reminding it. And sometimes we have to talk to it that way, very gently. No, just let it go. We're sitting in the company of the infinite one. We're sitting in the company of God. However you think of God, however you think of God, Goddess, boundless consciousness, doesn't matter. You're in that here and now. It's not some other time. It wasn't just some past revelation for some other saint or sage. It's here and now. It's you. And everything about you is that. It all springs from the eternal one. There is but one source. The Divine Mother who gives birth to all forms. When we get into that place where we can let go of involvement with the form. When I say form, the thought, the feeling, the memory, the sensation, the this and that. Just step back and go, oh, this is just all her play. She's creating all these forms. It's just a dance of energy. The energy of the infinite, giving birth to infinite forms. You are that, giving birth to infinite forms within your own mind. Revelation is happening moment by moment. Revelation is inescapable, except by forgetting. That's how the mind gets lost, forgets. It can take lifetimes to remember. Lifetimes. So let's not waste our time now. Let's keep remembering moment by moment. Keep coming home to the truth, the divine, that living presence. Then we can meet the challenges of the world, knowing that fullness of that self-luminous love. Helps us to see, there are deeply afflicted people in the world, acting out of fear and anger, lack and want, inflicting pain and suffering on themselves and others. So we can have compassion for that profound nature of their ignorance, their self-forgetting, their pain that forces them to act out in these ways, even when they think they're doing something wonderful. They're not. They're acting out of attachment, fear, ignorance. We can see that. Then we can respond. Then we have the freedom. We have the strength. We have the wisdom born of direct knowing. We walk that into the world. A world that's in desperate need of the light of your wisdom, the light of your consciousness, the light of your love, the light of your living presence. You walk that into the world everywhere you go. And so to strengthen that and support that, we take refuge in the practices. We take refuge in mantra. We go into stillness and silence so that we're not distracted by the movements of the mind. So that over time, even if the mind's moving, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That spaciousness of being is unmoved by the movements of the mind. So we come home to that over and over. And so to support that, we do the practices. And so we're going to be chanting now the Maha Mantra, the great mantra of Om Kalima, Kali Durga, Namo Nama, Om Kalima, Kalima, the great mother, the divine mother, the one who gives birth to all forms, gives birth to everything, ignorance as well, all hers. So when we chant that, and then sit in the stillness, the silence of meditation afterwards, we're just becoming absorbed in that throb of the infinite that is our own self, the throb of mantra, first heard by great sages and saints thousands of years ago, and then repeatedly heard, not just once, but countless people. Countless people I've met, including myself, can hear this arising. This is not mind-born. This is why mantra as a potent practice is so important, because it's not born of the mind. Your thinking is born of the mind. Follow thoughts, you're still within the mind. Follow mantra, you can go beyond the mind. So we become absorbed in mantra, because mantra dissolves itself back into the source, back into what is beyond all forms. There's that boundless field of just the love, the loving embrace, the unity beyond unity. Rest there. That's the true resting place of the mind. That's why the mind finds it so hard to find true rest. So many things agitate it. But the one, the source, the divine, that's its true home. That's its true resting place. So we go there. So we're going to chant now for a few minutes and then just sit in that stillness. And if the mind moves, just treat it with love and compassion. Invite it to come back to Om Kalima, Om Kalima. Bathing the mind and the body in this throb of the infinite. Inviting it to know that that throb is a carrier wave of that boundless love, the nectar of that, the sweetness of that. That the practice of chanting penetrates the whole body, right down to the marrow of our bones. Penetrates the mind. So keep coming back to it. It's that refuge, a true refuge for the mind. A refuge free of agitation. So we'll chant now. Om Kalima. Om Kalima. Kalin Durga Namo Namah. Kalin Durga Namo Namah. Om Kalima. Om Kalima. Kalin Durga Namo Namah. Kalin Durga Namo Namah. Om Kalima. Om Durga Namo Namah. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah Kali Durga Namo Namah Om Kali Ma Om Kali Ma Kali Durga Namo Namah Kali Durga Namo Namah Om Kali Ma Om Kali Ma Kali Durga Namo Namah Kali Durga Namo Namah Om Kali Ma Om Kali Ma Kali Durga Namo Namah Kali Durga Namo Namah Om Kali Ma Om Kali Ma Kali Durga Namo Namah Kali Durga Namo Namah Om Kali Ma Om Kali Ma Kali Durga Namo Namah Kali Durga Namo Namah Om Kali Ma Om Kali Ma Kali Durga Namo Namah Kali Durga Namo Namah Om Kali Ma Om Kali Ma Kali Durga Namo Namah Kali Durga Namo Namah Om Kali Ma Om Kali Ma Kali Durga Namo Namah Kali Durga Namo Namah Om Kali Ma Om Kali Ma Kali Durga Namo Namah Durga Namo Namah. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Here you sit in the boundlessly loving presence of the divine within you, as you, surrounding you. That loving presence. Nothing the mind has to do. Let go. Let go. Let go and know the fullness of that loving presence. The fullness of the divine embrace. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. So we end with this prayer. And may all our practices truly benefit everyone. And may all beings know complete freedom from suffering. Namaste. The living presence. That's the loving presence. If we don't know that in the moment, because we're in the presence of the mind, we're identified with the mind, letting that go, and what's already fully present, fully there, fully loving, all embracing, no one, nothing left out, that's the divine. Keep coming home to that. Even if that's just an idea for the mind to begin with. It's an idea that orients it in the right direction. Coming home to the truth of who you are, who all beings are, all of creation. That's where true ease, true rest, true freedom from suffering arises. So I want to thank you all for coming this evening and bringing your divine presence, bringing the power of your commitment and the power of your practices. Thank you for being ones who pursue that truth, pursue direct knowing, so that you can walk it into the world and help the world to reclaim that. That's what's so desperately needed. So thank you. So however you're celebrating all the holy days of this month, remember the true temple is the human heart, the place where God has always been. That's why the great poet Saint Kabir said, yeah, you can break a temple, you can break a mosque, but never break the human heart, for that's where the divine, that's where God resides. So live in that truth, walk in that truth, delight in that truth, revel in that truth. And I look forward to seeing you next week.